Well, let's start. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. So, Assalamu alaikum, everyone, and welcome to today's workshop. Uh, it is related to social media graphics design, and let's start it. Okay, so please, everyone, for the sake of just confirmation, can you please hear me well? Is there any distortion or any noise in the background? You can.
Very clear.
All right, thank you. And chat feature, some of the rules. Chat feature is always on, and I can see everyone, every one of your chat. Thank you, Julius. And please make sure to write down your queries and the answers on the chat anytime. No worries. And also, you can raise your hands in terms if you wanna if you have any questions or anything to ask or to share something. And also, uh, at the end of this meeting, we'll be having a feedback and an information session form. You will fill that, and that will be helpful in generating your certificates for attending the session. Let's start then about the things. So with my introduction, I am Ubaidur Rahman. If for the ones who do not know me personally, so I am actually a social entrepreneur who is very dedicated about societal flaws, and just improving the lifestyle and the interaction within the communities and within the individuals in the community. So by profession, I have a degree in computer science, software engineering, and I started my career being a graphic designer back almost 5 to 6 years ago. And since then, I have designed, like in the beginning, I started designing logos and simple graphics and stuff. And then I moved towards UI designs, and then I studied user experience, and it's worked. And later on, I went into branding and marketing aspect, and still I'm learning quite a lot on these. And also in the graphic design, well, today's session, which is social media graphic design, so it's just a part of this digital marketing side. So that's what we will be discussing today. And you can follow me, or you can know more about me through this link. It is smartprofile.me/Ubaid. Well, I would like to mention here, this application is also developed by our agency Techylem. So please check it out. It's really cool application, and it is powered by Smart Sticker, and everyone is recommended to get those stickers. It's a thing of future, I say. Yeah, about this workshop or this class, one thing I would like to mention, that this workshop is not related to any tool. Okay, so I will not be showing you how to use Illustrator or how to use these kind of tools. Rather, we will be discussing the design principles. First of all, how many of you do not know how to use a design tool? Just to know my audience, you can mention in the chat. So if any one of you who is not familiar with any kind of design tool, like, so it can be Illustrator, it can be Figma, or it can be Sketch, or Photoshop, or Experience Design, whatever it is. So if any one of you do not know how to use a tool, design tool. No one? So please mention it if you know how to use designing, how to use designing tools. All right, Sufyan is on beginner level. Well, Sufyan, what tool you are using uh, at this beginner level? All right, for sure. So, well, assuming everyone knows design tools, well, if we got some time at the end, so I will quickly walk you through some very simple tools and their things. So, all right, Julius is using Photoshop, Illustrator, and InDesign. Well, that's pretty awesome. Thank you, Julius. All right, all right. So, see, let's say if I know how to use Google Docs or I know how to use Microsoft Words, that does not mean I can write good and beautiful essays, okay, or stories or books. Okay, so knowing a tool is different than knowing the design. This is a very big misconception in our field, that uh, most of the people think that they have learned how to use a tool and now they are a designer. No, it's not the case. So design is different than using a tool. You can do designing with a pen and pencil. So all right. So this workshop will be more focused towards how to think about a good design. Okay, and perspective of digital marketing and digital media designs. All right. So agenda of today's session. Quickly walk you through what we will be discussing about the graphics. What we'll be discussing the size. What should be the size and orientation for different objectives, images, how to use images, how to use fonts or typography, and pairing images with the text, and backgrounds, how to use these backgrounds. Also, uh, how to use focal points, visual effects, and placement of elements. Well, these are some basic principles of the designs that we'll be discussing today, and also we'll be discussing. It's important. At the end, we'll be discussing the thought process of graphic design. It's going to really awesome, and how to think before designing a graphic or during designing a graphic. Uh, what should be the process of going through that. And last but not least, we'll be having a Q&A session, and then we'll be floating around this link to add your information for your certificates and providing feedback for the workshop. So let's start then. First of all, uh, all right. So orientation of graphic. First of all, the size or the orientation. There are normally two types of orientations everyone knows. One is portrait, the other one is landscape. Portrait is when the width is lesser than the height. It's the portrait one, and we use those for mostly for, let's say, Instagram stories or Facebook stories or WhatsApp stories, or maybe for Pinterest, etc. So these graphics or orientation are important for these platforms. And for landscape, it can go for like Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or other graphics. And for the size of the graphics, let me just quickly share. I don't know if you can see my screen on this. Zubaria, is my screen visible? Like, can, or should I stop sharing?
It's visible. You need to maximize the screen, the Chrome screen.
All right. So Chrome is visible, right?
Yeah, Chrome is visible.
All right. All right. Thanks. Okay. So on this link, let me just quickly share this link into the chat so everyone can save it and bookmark it. Here they have all of the dimensions of that, on which platform, what width and height you need. So for suppose if we want to talk about Facebook, so profile pictures, okay, and banners and etc etc. It has all of these documentation, so you can go through it and use this. So for the size, of course, there are different sizes, so we cannot cover it, and so that is why I just shared this link with you. Next, we have images. How can we use beautiful images, and what are the ways of using images? First of all, we have to make sure that our graphics or our posts that we are designing for graphics, that designing for the posts, we have to make sure that we use high quality images, and they are royalty free or even stock free images, not the ones with with a watermarks on them. Let me show you kind of a picture. Yep, this one. All right, so you can see this picture has copyright and content, and you cannot use it into your graphics for commercial use. And I'm not sure about individual or personal use, but you can also cannot show it in any use. So you have to make sure that or either you have the license for this picture to use it, or what you can do is you can just um, go and use royalty free images. Let me quickly show you. So there are multiple sites for royalty free images. Let's say Pixabay is one of them, Pixels is another one, and PicJumbo. Yeah, there are multiple sites who have a lot of free royalty free images, and we can use these images into our designs, and these are pretty awesome and in very good quality. So simple Google search might not be helpful at all, like not in every case. So you have to make sure that you're using proper stock images, all right, or royalty free images first of all. And then if you're using graphics or illustration, so there are also some of the tools which requires a little attribution, and you can use those. For suppose if you want to use icons or something, so there is the application or the website called Flat Icon, and well, I have searched on something. And also we have free pick for these kind of simple graphics or the things, and we can use images from here as well, but they require for free downloads, they require some attribution, and if you have some paid version, so you may have uh, the license to use publicly or commercial in commercial use. And then we have uh, okay, we need to center the important elements. So whatever it is that we want to, for suppose in this image, we wanted to show the unity or the teamwork, so we had to focus, make in focus in this thing, okay, so which is representing our end goal. And the third, last but not least, rule of thirds. Rule of thirds is really important in designing graphics, really cool graphics. So in terms of it can define how you align your content and how you manage your content into our graphic. So what is rule of thirds actually? By height and by width, we divide the image into three thirds. All right, so we mention these 4 points into the background image. Okay, if it was a rectangular graphic, then it would be a different uh, spots. You got the idea. Width and height we divide in thirds, okay, and then we center a line on these points. So for suppose we have aligned this person right here and the text right here, right there, into the center point. So that's a pretty good tool, good way to align the content. And I usually use rule of thirds a lot of time, and it's pretty awesome and pretty helpful in designing the things. Then let's come to fonts or typography. Fonts have feeling and have even fonts. Words are defined as fonts, but fonts also have their own words. So what does that mean exactly? Well, if you can see right here in this image, let me just put it on a zoom. And right here, if we can see, there are serif fonts used and with alive, and it's kind of not giving the feel or the sense of being actually alive. So on the other hand, we have a really catchy word or the keyword, which is quite distinguished from the other words, from the other text, and that is where we come and use these things. Okay, so please make sure to use proper fonts. And normally there are two families of the fonts. Everyone knows that almost. One is the serif and the other one is sans serif. And all right, so okay, so serif fonts are actually short phrases. uh, Serif are the ones. Let me just show you once again. So this is the serif family. The fonts which have these tails at the end. So these are normally used for in the publications, in the books, or maybe some newspapers. But in the digital graphics, mostly sans serif is used. And also, if you have too much text on your graphic, so make sure that you use sans serif font family, not just the serif. Serif is also good if you have like one or two or three words totally in your graphic. So then serif is recommended in a way if it is matching the branding as well. And then of course, well, do not overwhelm your graphic with too many fonts. Okay, just do not use, please do not use so many fonts. It will be really cluttery, and it's not cool at all. So always make sure you use one or two. Two are awesome. At maximum, three fonts can be used if it is really necessary to distinguish the things. So maximum three fonts, but not more than that. It's going to be a rush into the graphics. And then well, once again, a feeling of the fonts, so you have to make sure. And then we have to make sure that we our fonts are actually matching the nature of our brand, or the graphic that we are using. For suppose if you're designing a graphic for a game, for a gaming company, let's say, or then we can use it. We can use like really bold and heavy kind of fonts, just like sporty kind, which are a lot energetic. On the other hand, if we have like the children's storybook, so we'll need to use those childish kind of fonts. So you got the idea. Okay, so and then till typography, we have discussed images, typography, and the orientation. In these three things, if anyone have any questions so far? please write down in the chat, or you can just unmute yourself and ask it out if you have any questions. All right, all right. So let's move forward then. Uh, or do you pick or pairing a font? Okay, okay, Julius. Uh, well, it's again a subjective matter, very, very subjective matter. It always depends upon how you use what's the brand. For suppose in Techylem, we have paired in our branding sheet, we have paired two fonts. One is Railway, the other one is Varela Round. So either it is provided by the client or by the employer who says just like us, we say that we use only these two fonts, or if you are you are the one who have to choose the fonts, so you have to go and just sense the feeling of the graphic, what you're using. For suppose right here in this graphic, we wanted to share something like which is alive, a little abstract, and also joyful. So 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 they have used like very minimal fonts which can convey these five words, and then one keyword with a real alive sense. Well, I feel like it's a little horror as well, but uh, so it's completely up to the matter that how we do use normally in, well, just for the beginners, I would say we can use one serif and one sans serif family, one font from serif and one font for sans serif, most probably, if it is kind of simple graphic, or we can use both sans serif families. I do not recommend to use two type of serif family fonts, for the sake of just clarification. These are the serif fonts with the tails, so please do not use two of them, either if it is really really important. For suppose some of the uh, law brands, lawyers use serif fonts in their family, in their branding, so there it makes a little more sense. So I hope, Julius, I have answered your questions. And please, everyone, if we just lost the connections on this meeting, so you can join again with this link. You can just open this link into you. So it is techylem.com/workshop. Anyone, whenever you're lost with the connection, this is the updated link. So whenever you use this thing. All right, Julius. So you can save this link, and for the future workshops also, we're not going to change this. So it's going to be the same. All right. So let's discuss image to text pairing. Okay. So so far we have learned the fonts, and also we have learned the images. Now how do we pair these things? Okay, there are some of the rules. So first of all, okay, so contrast should be high. No matter what, your typography or the text should be visible on the background image. You can use multiple kind of techniques to do that. One is just use overlays, or just like right here they have used an overlay, and maybe on this image they have also used a complete overlay on this image. Okay, we can use overlays, we can use filters, just like right here we have used this black and white filter. Here we have used background saturation to be very high, so that our white text uh, is appearing. So and we can use masks right there. So from the at the very first look, a viewer can be able, it has to be able to see the text as well as the image, both. So it's a pretty good graphic actually. And well, I have seen a lot of t-shirts, graphic t-shirts, who use these kind of graphics. And also on this image, it should be easy to use, and we can also, it is recommended if we want to add some colored, not black or white, color typography, it is also recommended to use it from the background image. Okay, so right on this graphic, I would say they have used this overlay, white overlay on the image, and also they have used this black and red color from this football. Once again, I'm saying, if anyone's connection is down, please we'll just rejoin with the link techylem.com/workshop. All right. So far, if anyone has any questions related to typography, image, or image to text pairing or anything, please mention. All right. All right. So let's move forward.